Welcome back to Bloom. Our next guest says many of us are living in that proverbial protected bubble that we previously condemned due to COVID. But with all this cleaning, living, and social distancing, will it cause future problems for our health? Well, joining us to discuss is Jessica Ter Haar, the scientific director with the International Probiotics Association. Welcome to Bloom.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Oh, we're excited to talk to you about this because a lot of people are probably wondering if in the effort to avoid the coronavirus, do you think that we're living too clean these days?
I really do, and one of the challenges is because we have to live clean to keep ourselves safe. But on the other hand, we're not exposing ourselves to good microbes as we used to do. You know, you would take your kids for a walk, you would go visit grandma, you would interact with a lot of people. But because of social distancing and the masks and ultra sterilizing everything, we're really not exposing ourselves to good microbes, and that can set us up for problems down the line.
Now, we do hear the words microbes, viruses, bacteria. They all seem like buzzwords these days. But what exactly is a microbe, and what are the three most popular microbes?
That's a really great question. Thank you so much for asking it, because I know there's a lot of confusion. I'm a microbiologist myself, and these words excite me, but you know, for non-scientists, it can be kind of intimidating. So a bacteria, a fungi, and a virus are probably the three most common microbes. And we've all been hearing lots of stuff about viruses, unfortunately, this past little while. But bacteria are also very good for our health because they are all over us. They're all over the world. The same thing with viruses and fungi. And they have a function. They do things for us. So microbes, they help us to digest our food and produce vitamins in our gut. They break down the sweat in our armpits. They keep our skin soft and clean. They even help us to regulate our immune system. So microbes are everywhere in the world, and they really are important. You have good ones and you have bad ones, unfortunately, that make us sick, but we really need the good ones to help us stay healthy as well.
That's interesting. So the three you mentioned, those are not bad for your health.
Well, you have viruses that are bad for your health, and you have ones that are normal, functioning, and they don't bother us. Obviously, the coronavirus is a very good example of a disease-causing one. But we also have, for example, viruses that can kill antibiotic-resistant bacteria. That's a pretty good function. We have bacteria that keep ourselves healthy, but don't forget that less than 1% of bacteria cause disease. We wouldn't have cheese and wine and beer and bread without some of the good bacteria and fungi as well. So there are good people and there are bad people, just like people at, you know, a birthday party. Some people you really want there, and other people you're questioning why they're there.
And real quick, because we only have just a couple seconds left, do you think this germophobia going on? Oh, we have more time than I thought. Do you think that germophobia could backfire on our health?
I do, and it can set us up for problems down the line, things that are already far too high in prevalence, things like autoimmune diseases, obesity, metabolic syndrome, and these are things we want to avoid. So there's three easy ways we can do that, actually, to expose ourselves to more good microbes, because we have to keep ourselves safe, obviously, from the virus that's causing this global pandemic. And those three things are we being taped and you can cut this, or do we have to stop? I forgot to ask that at the beginning, I'm sorry. But those three things, I'll just pause for a second. Those three things are going outside and opening our windows, eating a big variety of foods, and actually probiotics are a very simple way, simple, safe, and effective way to get more good microbes.
And, you know, you and I were talking earlier, I mean, you know, sadly, a lot of people, because there's just so much information out there, they become almost paralyzed in fear, and they're not leaving their living space. They're working from home. They're ordering in their groceries. They're afraid to go outside. And that in itself could cause a problem. And we're seeing that in the northern states. You know, we're here in sunny Florida, but people are starting to congregate and stay in, and that virus is starting to take off again.
For sure, and you mentioned it up in the northern states and even some parts in Canada where I'm based in, winter's coming in, so people are just going to hunker down and not really do very much. You know, it's a calm, quiet time, but we're also not going to challenge our bodies enough. And the problem with not challenging our bodies with good microbes is that they don't help us to remind our immune system what's a good bacteria, what's a good fungi, what's a good microbe, and what's a bad one, and how to deal with it. That's why we need exposure to good microbes. So it's really important to, open your windows, let some fresh air in, let some new microbes in. Eat a variety of foods and try some probiotics, because they're very precise, they're very safe, and they're very well defined.
And probiotics are safe to take every day?
They are.
All right.
They're FDA regulated.
That's good to know. Well, this has been such incredible information. We really appreciate you sharing this with us. And for more information, you can visit Jessica's website, internationalprobiotics.org. Thank you so much.